Hello, hello. Welcome to my Lunch and Learn, where each and every week I explore topics to help you elevate your mindset, be at your best, and radically expand your life and business. And today I'm going to share a magic formula with you, something so special, because this is going to help you get over your perfection and get you into progress. So if you find that you're stressed to the max, you're trying to make things perfect, perhaps you need to make some decisions that you've been avoiding that would take less than 5 minutes to call someone and tell them yes or no. Or maybe you can see that tasks are piling higher and higher and higher and higher and higher than you'd like them to. This is for you. Now, some of you know me and some of you don't. I'm Larissa McCouch. I am a master results coach and CEO of the Abundance Academy, where we help high achieving individuals uncover their deepest desires and what they're truly capable of and empower them to do it so that they can unapologetically have a life and business they want and love. So I would love to know where you're coming in from. If you are tuning in by replay, type in replay in the chat. And if it's your first time here, type in first time in the chat. So I have written a book. It is in with the publisher, and I'm so excited that it's going to be happening soon. It's going to be out this fall and available for you guys to hold in your hands, for me to hold in my hands. What many of you don't know is that I've actually written 2 books in the past, neither of which were published. And one almost got done, and I kept tweaking it and kept doing it for so long that life kept happening, business kept happening, things kept coming up, and some of the info got out of date, and we just never ended up publishing it. It just kind of got pushed to the wayside. And right now it's sitting on a hard drive somewhere. I followed my recipe, right? I followed my recipe, not the one that my mentors necessarily gave me or recommended. And because I tried to do it my way and I didn't pay attention to some of these circumstances, and I got into this perfectionist mode when they said, let this go at this time, it didn't happen. And even starting this book in the initial phases, I started to wonder and doubt myself whether I could actually finish something like this ever again. The day I submitted my manuscript, I felt so much relief. So I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I cannot wait for you guys to read it. And I can't wait to read the final product when it's finally out. And it's coming soon. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because progress is the secret to happiness and to success. And sometimes things happen in your life and you can choose to learn the lessons or you can take the losses. Now, I chose to learn the lessons when writing this book. And writing this book has been such a deeply empowering and satisfying process for me. And so many light bulb moments have happened, and they've gone off all throughout the process, not just related to the book, but related to myself and my business and my life. So if you do want to pre-register for the book, there are links in my bios on all of my platforms, and I will make sure to have one popped in the chats and in these messages in the actual message threads if you do want to get pre-access, like pre-register for a copy of my book. So you'll be the first to know when it's out. Just ask yourself, would you like to feel fantastic about yourself, where you're going and what you've done each and every day? Just have that inner sense of satisfaction. Is that something you'd like? Do you agree? Do you actually agree when people tell you how amazing you are? Or do you want to agree with them with a heck yes? Oh yeah, I'm totally amazing. Because the fact is, people probably compliment you on a regular basis. And is that inner voice saying, yeah, I totally am amazing, I so agree with you? Or is that inner voice disagreeing? I'd like you to agree. And can you imagine how far you'd actually get if you kept building momentum each and every day? The possibilities really, truly would be, they would be limitless. They would be endless. And that's what today is all about. It's about progress over perfection. Now, perfection is the enemy of progress. This is a famous quote by Winston Churchill, and this quote still holds meaning today. This is what we're talking about. There are articles about it. There are people that study this as a profession. And the definition of progress is forward, onward movement towards a destination. So it's like, okay, I'm here, my destination's over there, I'm moving in that direction. Perfection is the condition or state or quality of being free or as free as possible from all flaws or defects. And the fact is, on the journey towards your destination, there may be some bumps in the road. There may be some traffic zones. There's probably going to be construction. And sometimes these bumps in the road are seen as flaws. And when we are in a perfectionist mode, we can't get past them, right? It allows us to stall our progress and that onward, forward movement towards the destination we desire. So focusing on perfection can be a really, really stressful and unfulfilling thing to do. It can reduce joy. It can make you feel out of control and completely out of control in your life and in your environment. When you begin practicing progress over perfection, you're actually going to achieve the things that you set out to do. You'll be way less stressed and so much more relaxed in your home life, in your business life, in all aspects of your life. You're going to learn from your mistakes and find ways to actually improve and move forward. You'll be way less critical of yourself and of others. You're going to reach your goals faster, more efficiently, and in a more sustainable way than ever before. You're going to be more creative in your thinking and decision making. You're going to really step out of that box. You'll be more flexible and adaptable with unexpected change, and you're going to have motivation to succeed and evolve. Now, striving for progress over perfection actually means really, truly being relentless about learning, about growing, about evolving and improving. Okay? We are creatures of growth. You were put on this earth to create things. There was a mentor that once told me, when you're green, you're growing. When you're ripe, you're rotten. And when I heard that, I didn't feel so good. I was like, ooh, I do not want to get ripe. I want to stay green. I want to stay growing. And it's actually our nature to continue growing and continue evolving and keep improving each and every day. And that really is what progress is about, because there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. And when you focus on the feedback, you can course correct along the way. My husband, he was telling me about an interview that he heard Elon Musk do. I haven't had a chance to listen to this, but he was saying that one of the things Elon Musk asks his employees when he hires them is to tell them about a problem that they solved. And when they tell him about this problem that happened and how they solved it, based on the quality of their answer, he actually knows whether they were the ones that came up with the solution or they just implemented something that someone else had uncovered. Because if you truly do solve your own problems, you're going to understand them in and out, and you're going to understand them with a depth of knowledge that others don't. Versus if you just simply follow directions, you don't have the thinking process that goes along with it. So progress is actually a beautiful thing because it allows you to create those new neural pathways to come up with those creative solutions along the way. It is actually joyful and fun. And this is where you start to have beautiful detours on the destination. Now, we were in Maui, and this is a story I share in my book. So when we were in Maui, probably about 20 years ago, I'm not sure, 15 years ago or so, we were going down the road to Hana, and my husband and I were traveling with our friends, Janet and Alan. And the road to Hana is a really windy road around the island of Maui. And part of the island has a lot of touristy things. It's got Costco, it's got many beaches, and where a lot of people are. The back end of the island is literally a single road, a one lane each way road that goes to this town called Hana, and then it just loops around the rest of the volcano. And so we had made it to Hana. We spent the whole day sightseeing, stopping at every place, going and having picnics, buying banana bread on the side of the road. It was just the most incredible day. And we got to Hana. We're like, okay, we don't want to stop for dinner. We're tired. Let's just go home and we'll have dinner when we get there. Because we were about half an hour to an hour from home, just around the rest of the loop. I think it was probably about an hour. And so we go down this windy road because we're like, let's make the whole loop around. And all of a sudden, we come to this bridge that had been washed out. And this bridge was washed out and we couldn't make it across. And so on this tiny little rural road that didn't have a lot of space, we turned the car around and headed back into town. Now, we're pretty observant, but we didn't see a sign that said road washed out, and it had been washed out for a while. We didn't notice anything like that. Nobody told us. Maybe, I'm not sure if we stopped in the town before or not, but anyway, we had to turn back because we're like, we can't make it home. And it's going to take us a few hours to get home going the way we did, even without stopping. And so we went back to town and we're just like, let's have a meal. We are hungry. We are getting a little grumpy. We just need to settle down, get some food in us, and then we'll head home. So we stopped at a restaurant, and we had a beautiful meal. We wanted to actually stay the night. However, we couldn't because the hotel was fully booked from a retirement party. One of the staff members at the hotel had retired. And so there were a lot of friends, family, and people that were staying at the hotel that particular night. What was magical is we ended up chatting with people at this party. We ended up dancing with them, and we just had the most magical time. Now, we couldn't have planned this, right? Our plan was to sightsee and to have a good time. And our plan was to get home. However, the particular part of our plan to get home didn't work. So we had to course correct along our way. And we had this beautiful, outstanding moment. As we continued home, we had, there was another point where there was a pull off the side of the road. And on this side of the island, there's no lights. There's like a few tiny lights down there on the island, but there really aren't any city lights. It's on the ocean. There's nothing around. And it was almost as though we could reach out and touch the stars. So we got very carefully out of the car because it's on a mountainside. And it was almost like we could reach out and touch the stars. They were so close. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And eventually we did get home. We did achieve our outcome. And what we thought would be the perfect plan, we were by default, we had to course correct. However, we embraced the opportunity, right? We embraced the opportunity, and it made that progress we were making on the way home such a perfect moment. And when you start embracing these detours, when you start embracing the journey along the way, when you start really thinking in an intelligent way and using your mind, that's when you start to have magic moments and the juice for life shows up. So I want to share a formula where you can start using anywhere, anytime, to course correct along the way. Because the thing is, when you have setbacks and you are stalling or procrastinating or in this perfectionist mode, you're never going to get ahead. You have to keep moving. Okay. So you want to pause. Okay. Just pause, and you want to review. Okay. Review and reflect on what has happened. Review and reflect on where you're at. Review and reflect on yourself, on the situation, and get really objective. If you write it down, it helps with this process. Okay. And it gets you out of the emotional state, and it can help you be more logical. Okay. You want to refine. Now, this might be cutting back on comparing yourself to others. Maybe it is looking at the plan you have and realizing this plan isn't in manageable steps. So breaking things down into manageable steps. Maybe you don't even have a plan. So when you're reflecting, you're going to notice what's going on, and then you want to refine and implement some changes. Okay. So you review, you reflect, you refine, and then you repeat. And the more and more you keep going, you're going to start bumping into different roads and different opportunities along the way. And when you find yourself in perfectionist mode, pause, review what's going on. Really think critically, write it down. Really identify the biggest thing that's holding you back and think about, is this actually worth it, or is it good enough? Because when you stay in that perfectionist mode, you're going to be held back every time. And if you just took the next step forward, you're going to probably find the answers you're looking for. You refine and make it better and better each time. And then you keep repeating, repeating again. So I hope that helps really shift things into perspective. It's not about doing things perfectly. It's about allowing the perfect opportunities to come your way. And you can only do that if you keep moving forward. So pause, think about your setbacks, cut back on comparing yourself to other people or how you think it should be. Make sure you have a plan, you break up those goals in manageable steps, and be forgiving with yourself when things don't work out the way you had anticipated, and start looking for the good in things. Look for the good in these opportunities. So we've covered a lot today. Ultimately, it really does boil down to you focusing on what you want. When you know yourself, when you know what you want better than anyone else, you can make wise choices. You can take responsibility, and you can start focusing on the progress to your destination rather than having to be perfect and having to have everything work out the way you initially thought it was, because the true magic happens in the moment and you want to surrender yourself to the process. So, like I said, I would love for you to register for an advance copy of my book, Stop Procrastinating Your Life Away, Discover the Secrets to More Time, Money, and Freedom. I will make sure to pop a link in the descriptions. Our team is away on holidays for the next couple of weeks, and I will be back again with you next week. So with that, you have a beautiful day, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.